Welcome back to J&P Sports Talk, episode number 18, I believe. Today, we're talking about NBA. Jack?
You're going to get our first, first reactions that anyone has seen. Our first reactions that anyone has seen of Giannis Antetokounmpo signing his supermax extension with the Milwaukee Bucks, along with some preseason. And maybe talk about James Harden. Maybe talk about Brooklyn Nets. But the big news of the maybe the entire offseason right now, maybe. But Giannis Antetokounmpo has signed a 5-year, $228 million supermax extension. Patrick, what are your thoughts on this?
All right, so obviously, this is a ginormous W for the Bucket. He's staying for 5 years. I believe his 5th year is a player option, so he's staying for. I don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. So, he will be staying for 4 years if that is true, and then his 5th year he can either stay or test free.
You are correct.
This is a big signing because now there's not going to be a super team in Miami, and there's not going to be version 2 of the super team in South Beach. There's not going to be an even better super team than there was with KD, with KD, Steph, and Klay Thompson.
Yes.
Now the East is there's a lot of contenders this year, and aren't out of that contention anymore because they got Giannis back. I guess he never really left, but this is big for.
It was speculated.
And it's a disappointment for everyone else around the league.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. This is 100% a win for the Bucks. I think Giannis, he's top 2 player in the NBA. I think most of us can agree with that. Him and LeBron. He's back-to-back MVP. This year he was Defensive Player of the Year. He's been All-NBA first team, first seed in the East past 2 seasons. So the accolades are there already. All-Stars, everything. But this really changes the East because that Bucks team is going to be real interesting if they ended up trading Giannis or if even the next season if he ends up walking, if he would end up walking. So, but I guess that they made enough moves to get him to stay, such as Drew Holiday. Who else did they get? They have Drew Holiday, which is a huge one. They've now 2 of the 2 best two-way players in the NBA, so offense and defense, and Giannis and Drew Holiday. So that's huge. I was glad that they kept Dante DiVincenzo this offseason. I think he's super underrated. He had that breakout game with Villanova in the championship, like no one had ever heard of him before, and then he broke out in the championship, raised his draft stock a bunch. The Bucks got him, and he's been really, really good ever since he got there. And I'm really glad they didn't trade him. I'm pretty sure they didn't. So if they did, then I'm just looking like an idiot. But this for the East just really changes things because you might think a Pistons team could maybe be a little bit more competitive. The Bulls are a team where if everyone's playing, like if Laurie and Wendell both play like really well, like we know we've seen a few times before, and Zach LaVine, we know what he can do. Kobe White maybe having that sophomore jump. That team might have been a team to make the playoffs. This also affects teams like the Celtics, who will be missing Kemba Walker for the start of the season, unfortunately. And as well as Raptors. That East is going to be different. 76ers, it's going to be different.
Yeah, it's funny how really nothing changing affects a lot of things. I guess because nothing really changed. He just signed, re-signed. Yeah. But it's the possibility of him going to Miami, going to Golden State, going to wherever the other contenders.
Toronto or Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. Just if he were to go there, then, like you said, that division, the Bulls, Bucks, Pistons, T-Wolves, Cavaliers, that division is up for grabs pretty much. As the Timberwolves, the Timberwolves are actually
they're an interesting team.
Sleeper pick, if I'm being honest. I think that they can play really well, but yeah, definitely huge moves. It's funny how it's, like I said, a big move, but nothing changed.
Exactly. It's like, I think it's just because it feels like such a big move, although nothing changed. It just feels like that because we were all speculating him going to these different places, all the Photoshop jerseys and everything you saw flying through social media. You all saw it. So it's just we expected him to not sign with not re-sign with the Bucks because the Bucks were never able to put a good team around him. Although they had Giannis, two-time MVP now, Defensive Player of the Year, like I said earlier, all that.
Yeah.
So I think now this changes the Bucks for the next 5 years or 4. If the Bucks aren't able to do anything in the playoffs moving forward for the next 4 years, I don't see Giannis coming back for that 5th year. I see no. I could definitely see them, even if they're not successful in these next 2 or 3 years, I could see him even wanting to get traded again. So, but I doubt it. I mean, that Bucks team is going to be at the top of the East for the next 4 years at least with a guy like Giannis. But no, that changes things because the Bucks without Giannis would have been, what, at max a 5 seed, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, their floor is definitely not making the playoffs. Like when Drew Holiday is really, really good, but when he's your best player, your team's probably not that good. Although that team might be set up like Drew Holiday, Dante DiVincenzo, Brook Lopez,
even bench players like Pat Connaughton who can come off the bench.
Pat Connaughton, Wesley Matthews plays really, really good defense. Who else do they have on that team? I think George Hill is still there.
I don't know.
Who was traded to the Who was Eric Bledsoe? He was traded to the Pels. That's right.
Yeah,
and they do not have him anymore.
So yeah, without Giannis, I don't think the Bucks are making the playoffs. And like with Giannis, like the Bucks, their playoff success just hasn't been there.
It hasn't, not yet.
They haven't made it to the finals yet. And just especially in nowadays basketball, you'd think that the best players would play the best on the biggest stages. And not that Giannis plays bad in like the Eastern Conference Finals if he makes it there, but he definitely, like, you expect to see your best two of your best three or one of your best three NBA players in the finals, and Giannis just has not made it there yet.
He's not. Yeah. Although we have seen past years, we've got Bron. KD was probably considered top 3 at that time. Last year, I would have said probably LeBron, KD, and Giannis, and we saw 2 out of the 3 of them. Or I meant 2019 season, not 2020 season. So yeah. Because that brings us to another interesting point about that Heat team. They're like the Rays. They're a ragtag group of guys.
They kind of are.
But because they don't have a superstar. Jimmy Butler is a star. He's an all-star. He's really good, but I don't know if he's quite a superstar. He's borderline superstar.
Yeah, he's like superstar, but then there's like X factor players that are just
exactly. You got guys like LeBron, KD, Kawhi.
Kawhi, Giannis,
Curry, Damian Lillard. I'd say maybe Jokic, just because.
Yeah, I'd say Nikola Jokic.
Joel Embiid when he plays.
Yeah.
Like Joel Embiid is
Luka Doncic.
Anthony Davis, James Harden, of course. We got 10 guys right there, who I would say are all better than Jimmy Butler.
Although I will say Jimmy Butler is criminally underrated.
He is so underrated.
It should be a federal crime.
I would say he might be like a top 11, or I mean, he might be 11 in the NBA. Like, he's just so borderline. But it's so hard to rank him because a lot of his game, like especially in the playoffs and the bubble last year, he was he's the ultimate team player. He was like, when he got that 43, 17, 13 game or whatever, he was like, I literally don't care at all about the triple-double. I'm just glad we won the game. And, like, there's games where he'll have, like, 4 points, but he'll be like, we won. So I don't care about my 4 points, but we won. Because he doesn't even need to get assists. He'll just let guys, like, if Tyler Hero's hot, he'll just let him take over. Bam Adebayo is feasting down low. They just give it to Bam Adebayo all the time. So he doesn't need to be successful to be a good player, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and Jimmy Butler's played on the Bulls, the Timberwolves, and like the
Sixers.
76ers and the
Yeah.
Heat. And he's made the playoffs for like 7 straight years. And like 3 out of the 4 teams half of the teams I named there aren't playoff teams, if we're being honest. I'd say he carried them definitely to the playoffs. As
that Heat, yeah.
I mean, maybe not the Heat, but definitely the Bulls, and then
definitely the Bulls.
And then probably the T-Wolves, even though Cat was there.
Did the T-Wolves make the playoffs?
I believe so. But I will talk about this is when you brought up Jimmy Butler's 4 points, it reminded me of
That's just an example, but yeah.
Yeah. It reminded me of first game for a young rookie by the name LiAngelo Ball. He 0 points in his debut. He had 10 rebounds and 4 assists, or 4 rebounds and 10 assists.
I don't know.
But he went 0 for 5 from the field. Not exactly the day that everyone was hoping, that Charlotte fans were hoping that he'd have. But I do think that he's 6'7". I mean, he's 6'7". Like, he's going to get rebounds. And I'm pretty sure he had 10 rebounds in that game. So I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that he didn't score, that he was put out. But
I agree.
Yeah.
I think, well, actually, before I get into the LiAngelo Ball talk, I did find your answer for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I believe he started off the season in Minnesota and then was traded to Philly for Robert Covington.
Rocco, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But that Timberwolves team was 36-46 that year, and then the Sixers were the number 3 seed, 51-31, and then that's when Kawhi did them dirty. Wow.
All right, so I was
back to LiAngelo. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people, even NBA fans, not necessarily analysts because they're kind of smart when it comes to the NBA, but people think nowadays you need to be able to score or you need to be able to have like a jumper to be a great player. Like people were speculating last year, like that Zion wouldn't be a successful NBA player because he doesn't really have a jumper right now. Now, we did see him go 11 for 11 in the field the other night in preseason.
Yeah.
But he doesn't I hate how people are like he needs a jumper to be successful. It's like he clearly doesn't. He gets rebounds. He's gonna use his strength to pull the ball out of your hands. He's gonna dunk on you. He's gonna get to his spots, which is really down low, and he's going to body you, and you are going to lose because he is 6'8". Whatever. He's a freak of nature. Especially when all that weight is muscle instead of fat. We saw that picture of him ripped before the bubble, and that's not actually how he was when we saw him in the bubble. But although he didn't really play that much, he was on minutes restriction. But with LiAngelo Ball, I think it's okay that he didn't score for the Pistons. Clearly, it wasn't because they cut him. But I agree with you. You don't need to score to necessarily be to be a team to win, to help. That's enough. Unfortunately, we lost you, so. Another big thing.
I believe that the real season starts on Tuesday.
Tuesday night, yes.
Yeah, 22nd. I believe that. I mean, I don't believe. It's just like he back. That's just what I wanted to point out. That basketball's back.
Yeah. So something that's not seriously critical, but when I actually saw the notification on my phone, I thought it said he was out for the season. But Gordon Hayward has fractured his finger on his right hand. Not really a big deal, but it's something because Gordon Hayward has had a little bit of an injury problem the past few years. So hope that doesn't turn into anything. A few things we want to talk about. We'll start off with James Harden and the Houston Rockets. So much news and rumors and everything going around. He requested a trade. The Nets look like the leading candidates, but then the Rockets said that they needed Kyrie or Kevin Durant in the trade, but that we also think he could still go to the Nets. And then now he says he's focused on being in Houston, and John Wall's kind of just chilling.
Yeah, so James Harden, he actually takes on the Bulls tonight. Or I'm sorry, he played I believe he
Played the Spurs.
he played Spurs tomorrow. Yeah. Spurs tomorrow at 7.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, there's always been a saying that's like, I'm not really a saying, but most GM's philosophy is I'd rather have a worse player that wants to play here than a better player that doesn't. Like, and I'm not talking like worse, like some bench player that wants to like they'd rather have James Harden. But if it's like James Harden and Kemba Walker is worse in my opinion. But,
I mean, I wouldn't even say worse because you don't want to make it seem like anyone's bad. It's just James Harden is better.
Yeah, and it's and if Kemba Harden, but if Kemba Walker wants to play in Houston, if I'm the Rockets, I want Kemba instead of James. Even though
you're gonna need more, but more than just
Kemba. I do want to just point out a bit. I think I said LiAngelo and not LaMelo Ball.
I was talking about LiAngelo. You did say LiAngelo.
Okay. That's my fault. I was talking about LaMelo Ball.
That got
Hornets, and now that Gordon Hayward's gone, I don't think that's what the Hornets are looking for. 0 points scored. I might need to score a bit more for the Hornets.
Yeah, we got a little bit messed up. I was thinking LiAngelo. You were thinking LaMelo. That's bad communication on both of our parts.
My fault. I spoke, but yeah.
Talen Horton Tucker. From what I've heard, I haven't really seen his stats, but apparently this man has been balling out. LeBron said that Talen Horton Tucker is special, and when you're getting praise from LeBron, so Talen Horton Tucker. I'm sorry, I'm just pulling up his stats right now so I can kind of let you know what everyone else know. I'm sorry.
There we go. Is he on the Lakers?
He is on the Lakers, but he barely played at all last year. This guy is 21 years old. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to pull up his stats, but he's 21 years old. He didn't play at all last year barely at all because,
stack team.
That stack team, exactly. But
they do on the Suns tonight at 8:00. So we'll see him in action.
Can I just
8:00 Suns if you want to see that one. I don't know what channel it's gonna be on.
8:00 Central.
Yeah. I don't even know if this is going out tonight. So.
Oh yeah, probably not. We already posted.
So I guess you're recapping, and you can see.
You'll see this on most likely Thursday or Friday.
But if you have his stats, that.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up. No one had preseason
perfectly fine. The other games tonight, Bulls versus Thunder, Trailblazers versus Nuggets, along with Knicks Cavaliers. So not a great slate of games tonight. But I know a lot of Chicago fans. Bulls playing tonight. Well, you'll see this and you'll see it there. The score.
Got his stats. So he's been playing 40 minutes almost a game in preseason, which is crazy. It's only been 2 games, but he's putting up 26 points
Oh,
with 9.5 rebounds and 4 assists, which, that's just kind of absurd. But listen to this, he's shooting 50% from the field.
oh.
And I'm trying to find his 3-point percentage. Okay, here we go. And from 3-point, okay, his 3-point percentage is actually 26, so not that good. But his his total field goal percentage is 50, which is kind of crazy, especially for a guy like Taylor Horton-Tucker. So if he can step into a role in LA to maybe if he plays like that in Los Angeles and we see him come out hot at the beginning of the year, that team might be unstoppable.
Yeah. What position does he play?
He's like a shooting guard.
Oh.
Point guard. He's a guard. So yeah.
So another guard that can't shoot the 3 ball at a high.
He seems like he's like a Russell Westbrook but not as good as a passer because he's putting up points. He's getting rebounds. He's 6'4".
Okay. So he actually kind of fits the mold of this team where they're not great from the outside. They're no warrior team, and they're like Braun. Their 2 best players, Braun and AD. They're point scorers down in the paint. They're getting rebounds. Braun can really shoot from anywhere, but
when Braun wants to make it, Braun makes it. But this man is 20 years old. He was born in the same century as us. That's crazy. November 25th, 2000.
That's insane, actually.
So well, let's see. So until a month ago, he was 19 years old. That is crazy.
Yeah, wow. I will point something out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry, we lost you again. We'll take a quick break while we wait for Patrick to
There we go. Sorry. The Warriors play again tonight, and they played yesterday, and they're playing tomorrow. I'm sorry, not tonight, but they're playing each other again, which is kind of crazy. And the Kings won the last game by 1 point. So
Kyle Guy buzzer beater. That was insane.
That should be a good one. And we'll see. Maybe the Kings are a black horse coming from
Dark Horse?
Or Dark Horse and Black Horse. Yeah, okay. Katy Perry. No. Maybe they're a dark horse coming from the West with the Lakers, and that's also a loaded conference. This might be like the prime of the NBA, where we still got players like KD and like LeBron, but we got players like Luka coming up. Both sides are pretty stacked, and it's fun to watch.
This is going to be there's no team that you're going to really think about. Like we've seen teams the past 5 years, and you're like, okay, these guys are probably going to tank. They're not going to make a push for the playoffs. There's really not a single team that's really that not going to probably have a chance to make a push for the playoffs. This might maybe the Knicks. The Knicks got better though. The Cavs. Yeah. And Thunder are not going to make. Thunder are pushing for the playoffs. But, that's what we said last year. And Chris Paul proved us wrong. But they don't have a Chris Paul on that roster anymore.
They have Shea. We'll see if he can step up. But then there are, the Hornets and maybe the Bulls. All those lottery teams, they're not completely out of the race. It's going to be another one of those, who gets the first overall pick? And I'm not talking about, who will get it because of the lottery. Who will have the best odds? Who will be the worst team? So not only is there a bad, not only is there, or I'm sorry, not bad, but not only are the bad teams competitive, because I can see pretty much any team beating any team on any given day. And that's most sports. But for some sports like college football, there's kind of like it's like Notre Dame, Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State. Those teams don't lose to the Citadel and to Florida Atlantic, Florida International.
Yeah.
But here, I mean, not 130 teams, but
exactly.
I do think anyone can beat anyone. It will obviously be a huge upset, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So another team we haven't talked about as we should wrap this up.
Yeah.
Washington, the Wizards, they're playing tomorrow. And with Russ, Bradley Beal, I want to see how that team comes out from the East. Maybe they're a contender.
I don't think they're a contender. I think they're going to be like the 6th seed for the Eastern Conference. Because this is going to be their starting lineup, most likely. Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Troy Brown, I'd assume would start at the small forward, and then Rui Hachimura, and then Thomas Bryant. So that's an interesting team. You know, they got two stars.
Yeah.
And then
superstars again, like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I don't know if either of them are quite Jimmy Butler, in my opinion.
Not quite, but like just
close.
Under. Yeah.
That about wraps it up for us.
Kind of a weird episode. We were just kind of going all over the place, just talking about the NBA.
It's kind of just rambling. Yeah. But we're gonna wrap it up there.
So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe.
All that.
Yeah. The funniest part is I think we should have a whistle at the start of our podcast because the podcast is always after the whistle. Check it out down low.
Right.
Yeah, Owen Tomko. Cool dude.
Yeah.